Hello and welcome. As I pause all the videos, welcome to Team Eco Speedruns. I am SanchoPanda. I'm here with Mars9,
Hello.
and I will try not to do like I normally do, which is every time I refer to you, drop the number by one and say Mars 8, Mars 7. I'll just call you Mars
That's
for
nice.
this
Thank you.
for this stream. How about that? Why did
Finally.
you? Where did the nine come from? Like, why did you pick nine? Like
Um,
Mars 9 rover?
no. I think like only Mars would be like it's like too unspecific. There are a lot of things called Mars and people called Mars. So I kind of needed like to add something. And nine is just my lucky number, I guess. I just
Oh,
like
okay.
how it looks and I just like the number, yeah.
you like how the number nine looks.
It's weird, but yes, I don't know why, but I think
I
the
just
number
never
nine
heard
looks really
anyone
nice.
say I've never heard anyone say that's the reason that's their favorite number. It just pleases me aesthetically.
Yeah, out of all numbers, like from 1 to 10, basically 1 to 9, you have to say nine is like the prettiest, I think.
Well, I can't argue with that. Definitely improvement to six. Requires
That's true, yeah.
you
Six
gotta
just looks
yeah.
lazy, I don't know. Like,
It does kind of look like a little fat, like it just sitting on its. So it's like six is sitting on a couch. Nine is like ready to go.
yeah,
I think,
right.
yeah. Six is like the closest we have to a couch potato, I believe. Anyway, well, maybe eight. I don't know. That's a discussion for another time. But today, we are looking at a world record on the left by Karekuza's that stood for 5.5 years and a run by some guy named Sancho Panda who beat it less than a week ago.
Yeah, imagine 5 years. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, and a little background, I've been running the game since April of 2020, so for almost 14 months. Off and on though, like I took a break when I did the Tricofecta trying to run Eco Shadow Colossus and Last Guardian back to back. So off and on, but then a couple months ago I got a time that was about a minute away from Karekuza and realized, okay, now it actually is doable. Let's grind this out. And the community helps so much. I'm going to have a lot of fun as we look at these two runs, pointing out every time the community helped me find something, which gives us a little bit of an edge to catching up to
Hmm.
Karekuza, which is kind of what this whole you're gonna see. He's just so great, and his early game is great, and his Shadow RNG is great early on, and we're gonna just be like trailing behind him for most of the runs, like slowly trying to catch back up as best we can.
Yeah, I'm hyped. I haven't seen your run, so it's gonna be all new to me.
Oh, so, well, sorry for the spoiler. Okay, so I figured I worked out how to do this. I'm gonna let his run go to about 3 seconds, and then pause it, and then start mine from where it is. 1, 2, 3. That's close enough. And then when mine hits 3 seconds, I will play his. Now, my timer is actually a second behind because of the Elgato delay, but it
Uh-huh.
probably looks better to have the clocks synced up. But just know that there's like a missing second in there. 5. Does that look pretty good? I should
Look
have put
good.
them the other way so the clocks were next to each other.
Ah, it's fine.
All right, so here we are at the beginning, and he got a faster load than me.
Did you preload? Yeah, of course you did. You had to run before.
Yeah, I did preload. Like if not, you're jumping around 34 seconds instead of like 29. So it gives you like 5 seconds of RTA advantage. I don't think it impacts the in-game time, but it gives you 5 seconds of RTA advantage to have all of those opening cutscenes
Oh,
play
you
before.
actually land on your butt.
Yeah,
There.
and you'll notice, like you said, it makes no difference time
Yeah.
wise because I jumped earlier to get down there than he did doing the runaround. So that was thankful for your research that I didn't have to like put pressure on myself to do it the other way because I'm terrible at doing it the way Kara did, which was like looping around and jumping down without.
Yeah, that was so
It's
surprising, like finding out that like a lot of things don't make any difference doing them
yeah,
differently.
yeah, which was super helpful for me because anytime you can have like less pressure on yourself, it for any movement that's difficult, that's great. And so that was very helpful. And there's something so tricky about that height too at that lever. Like if you're one step
Hmm.
down, you can jump and you won't flop your bottom. But if you're all the way at the top, you will.
Yeah,
It's so
it's like they
strange.
mapped it out exactly.
Hmm. And you
So
also got to see the first of my D-pad jumps, which I do all
no
throughout the
way
game.
from after
Yep.
like the ladder or what?
After the lever pull, you push down on the D-pad and
Okay.
you wait for his second step and you push jump.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
So you're gonna say something? Yeah.
yeah, like can you say like how often have you played this section, the start section of the game?
Not as much as everybody else. And you can see it in my run. Like, I think, I always preached just finish a run so you have the experience of running the end of the game, or you're gonna have a PB pace that you lose because you're rusty at the end because all you're doing is waiting to get the perfect RNG at the beginning.
Mm.
But the consequence of that is, I've watched you and I've watched Blink like reset run after run after run, sometimes before the main gate or before graveyard or sewer, and the consequence is that you guys are better at this section than I am. Like you're gonna see me make a couple, albeit uncharacteristic mistakes, but they're mistakes that I make because my muscle memory early on. Like I'm not feeling any pressure here. I don't know
Mm.
this is gonna be the world record run. So these mistakes are just mistakes you actually commonly see at the beginning of my run.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, well, I'll point them out when they happen, and they'll be really obvious. But two things are happening at the early part, and that's that Karekuza, for whatever reason, does have faster loads than me throughout this whole early section, and so you kind of got to ignore the RTA a little bit because, like, he's able to, like, I'll never get to this first door when he does because his loads are just
Mm.
too fast. But see, there he made a little mistake, and you're gonna help me with that because you showed me that we can do bunny hops to get
Yeah.
that jump. So there I gain like a little bit of a second on him. But I'll never get to this main gate as quickly as he did because he had such fast loads. And my PS3 just doesn't handle it. Here, watch what happens when I push R1, R2, R1 here. It's not working.
Okay. Yeah, I know like sometimes if you push it, you go like in a circle around the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
It's so weird, like
It's
and so
something I
different.
should have worked out, like the position, right? Now, I make up for that by getting a faster Yorda climb right here. Like, she's on top of me, so that made up for it. But that was unfortunate. Like, that was a weird little RNG thing of where you're standing next to Yorda when you try to grab her hand to
Mm.
activate the cutscene. Sometimes it starts, most of the time it starts right away, right? But sometimes he walks back to her and you're just like, Hiko, and you have no control over it because it's a cutscene.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting, like how the run is basically gonna be the same over all like the 5 years it was standing, but there are also like a lot of small things that's gonna
Yeah.
change, right?
Yeah, there's one big change, and that is the way I approach West Arena, the whole bomb toss segment. That whole
Mhm.
segment, I combined like four different people's strategies to get a way to do it that's about 20 seconds faster than the way Karekuza does it.
Combined power.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, and it's combined over the years. Like looking back, it runs over the years. Okay, watch my Yorda here as well. Like she does not want me to get the world record in this run.
Oh no! What?
I handled it really well. Like I wasn't even thinking, but the jump swing to grab her, it only lost like 4 seconds. But that was, my Yorda chased to birds and Kare's didn't, and that's part of
Yeah.
what made his run so stinking frustrating. Is he has such good RNG like throughout the entire run.
But with everything like shadows,
Just about.
Yorda,
Hmm.
and all this stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he gets one Yorda head shake, I think. And I honestly think even after all this time, he actually understands Yorda better than I do.
Do you assume it or do you actually talk to him?
I mean,
sometimes?
even watching it now. Hey, look, here's the proof that that running and calling is the same speed as hopping.
Yeah. this was like one of the first things that blew my mind about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned it the way that you hop the stairs because I learned it's faster, but actually it wasn't faster at all.
Yeah, well, it's faster than running without calling, but
Yeah,
yeah, not by a
true.
lot. I nearly died there. No big deal.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, if you
this is
just
art.
compare the runs right now, it looks like he's like so much ahead, right?
Right, and that's just the RNG from Yorda. Until me making this mistake right here, and a little tiny mistake at the beginning, most of his time gain here is just the Yorda RNG
And the loading a little bit,
in the
like you
loading. Yeah,
already said, yeah.
but he has really late. He has some terrible late loads, which is why I'm glad we use IGT. I'm gonna just point out here's another mistake I made. Um, I started jumping from there, but I don't have the angle down well because it's something I've
Mm.
only done recently. But I do get a better jump to the pipe than him. I do. It takes me 2 less scoots, so it's like I'm losing time and then I'm scraping it back.
Yeah, I think like a lot
And
of time gain comes from like optimization,
yeah, like even
right?
just Kare, the way he ran to the crane, he looped around more, and I run more like in a straight line to get to the crane, and it saves like a half second. You'll see my run angle is a little sharper, a
Yeah.
little scarier, but I'm used to it now. I remember when I would tell people never do that jump because your run
Yeah.
dies. But I think that was just we were all less comfortable with how eco controls in general.
Yeah, that's true. When I learned the run, I was also like lining myself up, then doing like a D-pad and
Hmm.
be extra safe about it because you have to. Because like if you're learning the game and you fail there, you have to replay the whole first 8 minutes again. It
Yeah,
just gets
yeah.
frustrating at this point. So
Hey, we're like passing each other. Hi, Kare. Hi,
high
Sancho.
five.
High five. So yeah, so I've got up till now I've lost about 7 seconds from bad RNG, and then another 6 or 7 from bad parkour.
Mm.
So what we're gonna see is by the time I get to the main gate, I think I'm about 18 seconds behind him already, and that's not good.
Yeah, we talked
Like
about
this.
it pre-stream, like about what
Hmm.
20 seconds, what difference 20 seconds are, and you see you can lose it so fast or gain it,
Yes.
like it's crazy.
Yeah, and watch Kare do his jump to the ladder here. I don't like he doesn't use the D-pad like me, so it's not as consistent, and he actually
Mm-hmm.
misses the tummy oof right there. So he loses a little bit of time here, and then he's also not gonna get as fast of a chain hit.
Mm-hmm.
So again, little things. This would be so hard to like without an actual task. This would be so hard to try and task because it's just so wonky and precise at the same
Oh,
time.
this was a nice chandelier swing.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah, you basically can't get it earlier, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. And he does of course a perfect bomb toss, and you're gonna see me miss and have to use my backup method.
really? You missed the
Um,
bomb toss once?
no, I don't miss the bomb. I just miss lighting it on the jump.
Okay, yeah, I see.
So I do a trick where you do a standing jump and then jump backwards and then hold down and left on the
Mm,
D-pad for 2 steps and throw it, and you have time to make another jump. It's only about
that's
a half
smart.
second slower if you don't miss the bomb toss to begin with. Like if you just do the backup.
I guess you could say your backup actually saved your run at this
Oh
point.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Because
knowing the
it's
possibility,
you
yeah.
know how awkward it is when you miss that jump the first time to like
Mm-hmm.
step back and try the jump again. So I'm really glad I worked out a way where I didn't have to like repeatedly jump and jump from a distance to try and get that bomb lit. Blink. Kare does the toss so well, the bomb has time to bounce off the pillar. Yeah, usually if the bomb hits the pillar, that's a bad thing. It means you threw it early and it's going to bounce off and get too far away before it explodes. His timing was just perfect. The bomb toss is one of the most difficult things to learn.
Yeah, I
I will say
agree. I
that.
haven't learned it properly yet, so
Yeah,
I
and you're third
agree.
place. You're third place,
Yeah,
and
I
you don't,
I kind of
and you
make my
still
own backup.
kamikaze it sometimes. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you have a cool method too, but it's super precise. I could never get it.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
really preference, I guess.
Mm, yeah, yeah. It really, a lot of these things are like the time difference is hardly anything, but there's a preference difference. Yeah. So there, yeah. So RNG and just a couple tiny mistakes here and there, and here we are, 18 seconds behind getting to the main gate.
Oh, Karekuza misses like pulling the torch for at least like
Yeah,
2 seconds there.
yeah. And you're gonna see. I wish we were side by side. You're gonna notice because he does his torches in a different order, and he also doesn't jump from one side to the next. You notice when he does his sideways torches, he doesn't
Yeah.
jump, and I think he loses a little bit of time by not doing that. But he's being safe. I don't think that's a bad decision on his part. You'll see me though. I jump across to get to the next one, and
Wait,
it's a
you
tiny
jump
bit
every gap.
faster.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, but because I lit the near torch to the right as opposed to the far torch to the right, it changes Yorda's pathing as she gives clues, and so you saw how far away his Yorda was right there,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're gonna gain a tiny bit of time here on him because our Yorda is closer, and so I don't have to run nearly as far back to get to her. And I think my torch section just went a tiny bit faster too. It was
Yeah,
very
it was
very
clean.
clean.
Yeah, true.
It's hard to get a clean torches.
It really is like the torches, grabbing the torches is really one of the hardest things in the run.
Mm-hmm. It took me a while to be able to do this, like to let go of Yorda here at the right moment, and that she keeps the same a good distance away from you, not to turn around, but also not to follow you around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, you let
And
go
that
of your
allows,
order way earlier than I would do.
yeah, it's you got to get used to it. It's a distance thing with her, and but it allows me to do two super calls. Oh, and he has a faster Yorda there too. It's anyways, it's not. You're gonna see my Yorda take a little bit more time to get to me after the bomb explosion. Another right D-pad thing right there. I just throw the bomb using the right D-pad after lighting it now. Come on, Yorda. I mean, to you that probably looked fast, but if you look at it next to Kara's, his Yorda was like 2 seconds faster running to him.
Yeah, that's also underrated. Like, you don't usually think about how much time you save or lose by Yorda behaving differently.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Especially right there, you're just like, hey, she ran to me. But, you know, when you're 18 seconds behind the world record holder and he's about to have a graveyard that's like 20 seconds faster than yours, you really,
Yeah, true.
it really starts to get frustrating. Like at this point, that's 3 different times Yorda has trolled me already, and we're not even like a quarter of the way into the run. At least my Yorda didn't run up the middle of the stairs like she sometimes does, you know, when you leave her in that spot.
Yeah.
In fact, she almost stepped onto the bottom. Like the run was almost died right there when I first let her go at the steps. So I think at this point, Kare was just like, watch what he does. He's just committed. He is committed to not having to
Yeah, true.
to run up to get Yorda later.
I would always finish pushing the block first.
I know,
And he
like,
really
okay,
fights
he
for it.
grabbed him. That's fine. I mean, and look, I mean, it, this is not a perfect graveyard. Like, I think everyone's had that experience where Yorda didn't get grabbed, you pushed the cube, and she was right there, and you just jumped and got her, and you're like, why can't this happen every time? So even this could be faster than what he did, but because you see me having to run all the way up to get Yorda, yeah.
I think what... Sorry, I don't want to talk
No,
over
go
you.
ahead. Just he
Yeah,
saved a lot of time.
I think what Karekuza like does there, it potentially allows you to get a really good graveyard. Like if you have if you get lucky by doing like
Yes.
fighting for your you have the potential to get a really good graveyard, but it also comes with like the higher risk of like failing it or taking more time than it would.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It can kill the run.
Yeah.
Like what I do is safe because I know I have time to gain in West Arena and in the final shadow fight. So you'll see me do stuff the safe way. Did you notice I had a little Yorda delivery service in my graveyard there? They grabbed her at the top, so I just went down to the bottom spool and they carried her to me.
Yeah, I love it when the
But some of
shadows
this
do the
is
work for you.
yeah, some of this is just great motion. Like Kare made a jump to the railing just a little bit ago, and he only had to do I think 3 scoots to get to the ladder. And here, watch this jump of mine is atrocious. As he gets his skip, this jump I do, it's 1, 2, 3,
It's taking forever.
5, 6. I could have probably done 6, but I did 7. So he did a jump that gave him 4 less scoots than me. And that's actually part of why I lose so much time to him in this graveyard section. Like, his graveyard was a little messy, but that little pipe jump, that's like about 4 seconds of difference. Also, Mars, I do this differently now. I wait for the camera to come to me, and then I hit R1, and it works better, and it's faster than doing the 2 scoots.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen this one yet, so interesting.
So
I think it kind of makes the run from Karekuza like even more. I have to respect the run even more. I know that he takes like all the risks also.
yes,
right?
Yeah, because even that jump to the railing to only have to do 2 scoots to get up to that ladder in the dark room, even that jump, if he was a little bit more to ICO's right, he would have missed it and fallen down to the little ledge below.
Yeah.
And it would have cost him like 5-10 seconds. You see Gore do that, and Gorister do that in his previous world record of the co-op run. This the one time Yorda was mean to him, I think. Oh, oh no, actually she didn't. She didn't shake her head here. It's later.
Yeah, that's like the little things. If Yoda shakes her head there, it makes what, like 5 seconds, 4 seconds?
6 seconds.
6
yeah.
seconds.
Anytime she shakes her head, it's a 6-second
Just
cost.
imagine you basically cannot be sure she doesn't do it. So
no,
it's crazy.
especially here. This is the one, like, of all the places, this is the hardest place to predict what she's going to do. Like, sometimes she's not even close. And so yep,
of course,
my
Yoda shakes her head.
She just, I mean, if you see it next to his run, that's 4 times now where Yorda's made things harder for me. Like, how am I going to catch him?
Yeah, it's really, that's what you would think at this point. True.
Yeah, we're going to see his first, I'm not even going to say it's a mistake on his part. Because Graveyard is definitely not a mistake. What he did there was gutsy and it paid off. But we're going to see his first, I guess, like, RNG troll that happens to him. I think he could have chosen to handle it better, but nevertheless. So we both get this skip, of course, but you're going to see the skip play out differently for both of us.
Yeah, the jump was like not optimized there from Karekuza.
Right. So he chose to hit that shadow, which got its attention, and so now it hits him back.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then he misses the chain a couple times. So that's helpful. Like, hey, he's human. He just gave me about 8 seconds there to try and gain on him. Or we're like both getting to the hole at the same time. And look, his Yorda doesn't pause at all to run to him either. Like, sometimes there's shadows in the way or up top, but both of the shadows were down beneath for him. Like, he had a perfect sewer setup. And there's me, that shadow.
Like,
go ahead.
Yeah. It kind of looks like he bribed Yoda before the run. Like, you're gonna behave well.
Right. So we're at 4 times that Yorda's trolled me and not him. Here's number 5. No, I don't want to come just yet. So you have to let go of R1 for a split second, and then she'll come again.
That's so funny, and this actually makes me respect your run a little bit more, because I know at the end you're gonna be faster. So.
Right, but that's 5 times now.
Yeah.
I'm losing count. That's 5 times where my Yorda has been slower than his, and it's not my fault.
Yeah, just imagine having good RNG and then doing the rest.
Like, if you like, we're looking at almost 20 seconds of just maybe closer to 15 seconds that I'm trailing him that are solely due to Yorda. Some of it was still my mistakes early on, but Okay, so watch how he parkours this section, because I did work out a way to do this faster. Like, I've figured out how to have a faster stone pillar than him, and it's mostly
Okay.
this. So he, he had a little trouble jumping up on those steps, and I've got a very specific way of doing it, which, surprise, surprise, uses the D-pad for left D-pad jumps right here.
This is
He
like
gets yeah,
this is a D-pad jump. I can relate though.
yeah.
It's
The
way
first two
easier.
were, the third one is also, it's just up and left D. He, he doesn't kill both of those shadows quickly, but he starts swinging at them earlier. It kind of balances out. But the main thing was he killed the first shadow quickly, so it's the small shadow that you have to kill to get the next one to spawn. If he killed the big one first, it would have been a much bigger time loss.
Did he scoot like the block only one time also?
Yeah, just like me.
Okay.
And now here's my method now. I kind of got it worked out where every time after I kill the shadows, I move the block a little bit so I'm not having to run around it later like he just did. But there's one of the shadows trolled me because it had died in front of the cube and it took away
Yeah,
2 of
I
my
see.
scoots.
But overall, it looked really clean. Like especially the
Yes,
first two
yes.
shadows.
In fact, I don't even know if it was my idea to pull the cube in between fights. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that, and it does save a couple seconds.
It
So
makes
it's fine.
sense because you have like this little downtime where you wait to spawn for the
As
third
long as
shadow.
Yeah, as long as you trapped them well and you kill the big shadow quickly after the small one, you can safely move it 4 scoots. You can sometimes squeeze in 5 before having to get the next shadow as he pops out. But then he does little things like this jump right here. You can totally see me chicken out. He jumps 1 scoot further over to the left. He did take his time just now doing that chain jump. And look how lucky he gets
Yeah,
here.
that's really lucky that he doesn't get hit off
Alright,
the.
come on. But Gorister showed me that you don't actually have to do a setup for this jump. Pitor showed us that the chain is actually quite forgiving.
Yeah, that's
And
what
then you'll
I.
see I don't stop at all. I just hold the left D-pad and then jump. Like you don't even have to set up and wait for the camera.
Yeah, that's true. That's when I was testing the jumps. Oh, you hit one shadow? Okay.
I had to, yeah. And he still almost gets me. Like I worked
Yeah.
harder.
It's true, yeah, it's true. Man, that at this point there are so many things in Karekuza's run where you can say, oh, if he failed this, he wouldn't have the world record. I mean, you probably can
Yeah.
say it for every world record run, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's we both got every shadow skip. And that doesn't like how hard it is to get through East Arena, getting a great graveyard skip, a decent sewer skip, and then the East Idle Stairs skip, which I think a lot of people find to be the most frustrating of the 3 because you have so little control over it.
but let's see if Karekuza's Yorda is going to the platform.
Right.
Is she?
She's not, but let me tell you something. So I ran these 2 segments side by side, like from the start of that segment, and I got to that spot like 4 seconds faster than Karekuza, but his Yorda runs to the platform faster than mine and ties us again.
Of course she does. Yeah.
So this is the 6th place where his Yorda is faster than mine. Which is like, I'm like, he just must have a psychic connection. Cause look how slow my Yorda is. Watch this. She's just like
He's slow walking at the beginning.
okay. And like it's so easy when she's going that slow to pull it early.
Yeah.
Like you've gotta take an extra breath before you pull the thing.
When people have their hands behind their back and start whistling, it's like she moves like this for you.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But you both get like a good RNG
Yeah,
where
he grabbed
Shadow
he grabbed at the same spot. Yeah. This is why it's the Eco World Record and not the Yorda World Record. It's true. I would need Vexel to do any better. So, yeah, so that's 7 times now. That's got to have added up to at least 20 seconds difference where I'm really not doing anything different from him, and Yorda's just being a little derpy. But you know, she's not being bad. Like, she didn't step off the pressure
Hmm.
plate during
Yeah.
graveyard, which can happen. She stayed where she was supposed to at the beginning of the sewer skip. Like, if your Yorda does those two things, you're pretty much happy with the run at this point. You're not thinking about how it looks compared to the world record. In fact, I didn't even notice how great his Yorda was until I started looking at them
Mm.
after finishing my run. And now I'm like, come on.
But I gotta admit, like now seeing both runs, like even with your Yorda not behaving that well, it's actually insane that you like kept up the pace. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's like it's not too bad. It's just one mistake and it's like the same time. So
Yeah, at this point I was like, it takes me a while to get into a groove, and usually the start of my game is a little sloppy, but by this point I kind of hit a stride, and I'm not making too many, like, mechanics mistakes. So I appreciate the compliment. Karekuza does that turn so freaking fast. I do not know how he goes around the railing to make that jump that fast. I lose time. I lose 3 seconds to him just
mm,
running around that railing.
yeah, it's weird. It's because it's like a slope, and I don't know, I
Yeah,
feel like walking on slope is extra bad in this game.
and if you do the turn wrong, Yorda gets caught on the other side of the railing. I don't know how he figured out how to do it that tight. Even now, there are a couple things Kara does that I don't understand. So watch mine take like about, like, this whole little thing here takes about 5 seconds longer for me. It looks fast, but it's
Mm.
taking 5 seconds longer between me running around and how long it takes my Yorda to grab my hand here.
I think you walked like one step more up than he did.
Yeah,
Than he did.
yeah. I don't think that makes a huge difference, but you're right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, walking up the slope. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the main thing is we got the exact same shadow skip here, which was what, keeps the run alive. If
Uh,
Yorda gets grabbed running to that ladder, you're gonna lose at least 30 seconds trying to do this a half skip or something.
it was a satisfying shadow kill. Like he coming up
Oh
the ladder,
yeah.
and you like swoosh, get
I
away.
thought it was a one-hit kill, but it actually just like warps him back to the bottom of the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it certainly looked like that.
Hmm. The cars. This could be a task for Kari. This East Arena for him is so fast. I believe I get a gold split in this section, and it's still 10 seconds slower than his East Arena. Yeah, I used when I jumped after I came through Tic Tac. After I came back into the East Idle Stairs, I was using down D-pad to do those 3 jumps to get to the floor. Because you know that jumping over that ladder can be real annoying. Oh, and now you're gonna see I did my method different. Like he lit his
Mm.
torches on the back side, and I light mine on the front side because it's easier to know where Yorda is this way, and most of the time she's close by and she runs to you. But for some reason, my Yorda decided to be uh, down
Why
at the
wouldn't
bottom.
she?
And so I actually waited a couple seconds to look for her. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait for her to come through the gate this time.
Yeah.
And at this point, I didn't know what was going to happen with this run, and I wasn't too happy with it, believe it or not. So I decided to experiment with what would be the best time to call her if she's in that spot. And if you let's take note of where I call her because this actually works out really well.
Hmm. Yeah, not too bad.
In the end, it didn't lose time at all. Um, but still, is my Yorda being more frustrating. Not much to say here except we're scooting. I did a meme run a couple nights ago where I had the camera zoomed in the whole time, like R2
Mm.
was pressed down permanently,
I saw that.
and I dropped early here because I didn't know where I was. I thought I was at the top, but I wasn't.
Well, I did my fair share of fails, like even without the zoomed in camera here. so not
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah, when you're first learning the run, like it's like, okay, wait, am I at the top yet? So I scooted over 6 and I dropped here. Well, while Karekuza gets these perfect rope cuts. That was where I dropped instead of up at the top. This one.
And you slide down the whole thing.
Yeah, Kara's jump here is so cool. I can't do this. I've tried.
Oh, like
Look at
over the
that.
railing.
Yeah, like, and why does he scoot back to do, like, what's going through his mind? Like I said, there are still times where he does stuff and I'm like, I don't understand you and I can't figure it out. Another thing he does really well, and we'll see it later, I don't know, like, you know how when ICO climbs on something, see, I missed one rope here, so that was part of my 10 seconds slower than him in this area. You know how when ICO climbs on something, like you have to wait for a little bit to do another input, or he'll just like slip off.
Yeah.
Like when he climbs on a cube, you can't be pushing in a direction, or he'll slide right off, and then you can't jump from the cube. Kara's found a way to cancel that and do his jumps early.
Okay.
We'll see it. We'll see it once when he does the after the East Arena.
Yeah, please mention it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. So anyways, this is me following him, and here is his first, like, actual legit, this is a mistake that he made, and it's so helpful for the rest of us. It's coming up here in a little bit.
Yeah, right now the difference actually looks worse than before, I think, just by feeling, going by feeling.
Yeah, well, right here, I'm hitting this gate at 42 seconds. I'm 42 seconds behind him right here.
42 seconds behind. Yeah, that's
yes.
that's like a big difference.
That is a lot. Yeah. And you know, half of that was Yorda, and the other half was me. I did not have a great West Arena, and I didn't have a great East Arena, and I didn't have a great start. Brand New was the one who figured out you don't have to pause to get Yorda onto the elevator. You just need to loop around. Oh. And there's Karekuza missing the ladder drop, and this costs him 20 seconds.
But it's so close. He almost got it. It almost looked right.
But if you see how swag he was, when I do my jump, you're going to watch me square up and pause and look at the camera. And he tried to do it as one smooth motion from grabbing Yorda and looping around and jumping.
That's what I said, right? He takes literally all the risks. He's like, I'm doing it.
I mean, yeah. And even this is a risk, you know, choosing to do the sword skip here. It's not as much of a risk as I used to think it was, but still, in that day and age, for him to have the run he was having, and but I get the Yorda drop, so that saves me 20 seconds, and suddenly, hey, I'm out here in the same low screen he is.
But you can see the power of like doing some things safe.
Yes.
Because it was so much worth it to take like the couple of seconds lining up.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, so I lost maybe 3 seconds, maybe 4, but that's way better than 20. With Yorda forgetting her purse and going back up the ladder. Does it work the same in West Arena? Not Tic Tac, does what work the same in West Arena? Oh, the down D-pad jump. Yeah, I'll point it out next time. I know what you're talking about now. What do you think the time would be if you combined these two runs? Sub 27? I think... Yes. I think if you took everything... My Yorda take forever to get grabbed there, and so she's going to be really high. And you know how I said I gained 20 seconds on Karekuza? You're going to see me lose 10.
Yeah, we already talked about it, right? Like, what would be the perfect time? Like...
Yeah, well, my sum of best is currently like a 1:27:11, or would be around a 1:27:11. So I think if you put Kara's East Arena in place of mine, and if you put his Graveyard in place of my best that I've got timed, then yes, it's sub 27. And here's my shadows taking longer. So all that hard work I did to get the ladder skip, they're taking some of it back. His shadow came so quickly, and I'm just like...
Another thing you
I'm
actually
I'm
can't
checking,
do anything
I'm like
about
on...
it.
I'm on the web page checking the UPS tracking, and I'm like, come on, Yorda, when are you gonna get here? And there's like, sorry, your package has been delayed. Oh, thanks, Tic Tac. Yeah, I was only about 54 seconds away from my sum of best in this run. And the majority of that was RNG. Like, we've had about 30 seconds of RNG worse than Kara here so far. Oh, I forgot to point out the cube because I was looking at... Well,
Oh, he did it
later.
on... Okay.
Yeah, anytime he climbs on a cube, you just watch how quickly he jumps from it.
Okay.
And you're just like, maybe he's just got the timing down perfectly, but you could easily just slip right off. I don't know what he's doing. But it's only something I super recently noticed, so it wasn't something I was dedicating myself to, because you jump off of things like that maybe 3-4 times in the run, and it will add up to maybe like a second and a half.
So right now I'm asking myself, is Yorda gonna run all the way to the chain for him?
Right. Is she gonna be climbing up the chain and like swinging when he gets to her?
He also does it backwards like we did.
Yeah, well, we
before.
all used to do it that way.
Yeah,
Pete is the
right.
one who figured it. Shout out to Pete. He's the one who figured out it's about like 2.5, 3 seconds faster to jump the forwards way and do a swing, because you land on your feet instead of tummy oofing at the windowsill. So you're climbing a less height, and you're not having to do as much to climb up.
So I assume Yorda's gonna be at the chain for him now, isn't?
No,
is she?
no.
She is not?
There's no way. She's always gonna be close to the bottom of the stairs. She's like, if you're doing it as quickly as he and I do, where we're not pausing to let her get a few steps, she's always gonna be like, she'll never be through the arch.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I thought because he like does like the slower approach, Yorda maybe had the seconds to catch up, but no.
But again, here, like, this is a little thing, and I still can't wrap my mind around it. Like, Yorda, even if she's in the same spot, so we have Yorda in the exact same spot right there, right?
Mm.
And my Yorda still takes longer to get up to the cube than his does. Like her run, I don't know, her path wasn't as straight, but we lost like a second or two just with me waiting for her to run to me.
Maybe it's like a feature that the developers did. Like Yorda behaves for every eco copy different. Like
yeah, Kare makes a couple mistakes here, right there. He missed that jump, and then he's gonna miss this one too. Like, he climbs up and then he does a jump there, and you're gonna see me get both of those. So, a little bit of help.
Yeah, movement optimization.
Yeah, so from here on out, you're gonna see like this segment. His Yorda is a little bit faster, and then she trolls him, and then she's a little faster. In the end, he ends up doing this segment about 3 seconds faster than me, and then from here on out, I'm gaining time on him. But here, these are my jumps going a little smoother.
Yeah, that was clean. It's
I was really happy with that.
Very rarely that you get like both of these jumps.
Japanese Yorda has better AI. Maybe. And he chooses to run her all the way to the edge, whereas I kind of leave her at the corner.
Oh, he also runs against the pillar.
Yeah, he got kind of a weird little jump there. So yeah, that jump of his wasn't necessary. It was just a poor angle, I guess. Or maybe he swung the sword late, so he sailed a little too far. And he also loops around further and leaves Yorda at the bottom of the step. But that's actually a good thing. I've never figured out how to do it well. But he calls her at 12, and look how quickly she gets to the ladder. Usually if I call her when I've only climbed up 12 or 13 rungs, she starts to come up and then goes back down. And I haven't figured out how he does that, but kudos to Karekuza, because his setup helps him call her earlier, and that saves... That's like, watch my Yorda, like how long it takes her to find the ladder here.
Maybe it has something to do with like her being up on the...
Yeah. So I have to get to 14 or she'll climb back down. And look at her, she's like, okay.
If you say so, if I have to.
Yeah, it was one of the things that I deemed not worth really looking into.
Yeah, I see that.
It wasn't that much of a difference to where I wanted to make it something that if it didn't work every time, I didn't... Like, if anytime she changes directions on a ladder, it's brutal. as Kare runs here, I picked up something from Gorister. You're going to see me do a jump through that window that's a tiny bit faster. But of course, we've got to let Yorda finish coming up the ladder first. Hey, Yorda and Nico are racing. I think he's going a little bit faster than she is.
A little bit, yeah. I still love it how she climbs, like only with the right hand and step by step.
Kare's run is still in so many ways it's still the best because of all the great RNG he's had up to this point.
That was a nice jump, I see.
Yeah, see, Gorister found that out. It's so smooth, and you get to the ladder quicker. It saves a couple seconds, maybe just a second, but it's still cool. It's fun to do. It's not that hard of an angle to find either. But so far, Kare's had a great graveyard, like better than average, which was super gutsy. He went for it. The sewer was great except for his tiny little mistake. The Squish Bros didn't troll him. The Shadow leaving Stone Pillar didn't troll him. The Shadows and the Idle Stairs skip worked. He got the fastest Yorda delivery leaving the East Arena. Like, it's just all adding up. And this was why for so long we said his run was impossible to beat. Because not only is his movement amazing, but he's literally getting the best breaks in every segment up to this point, except for the ladder drop that he missed.
That's so true.
It's still such a good run to. I mean, I would say even at this point, if you wanted to study a run to like try and reach your full potential, I'd say watch Kare's instead of mine, or better yet, go back and watch the runner from 2011, the Eco runner who's unofficially third place, who has a IGT of 129.06.
But yeah, you should probably like watch one of those, and then there should be like a video of every little optimizations you have over Karekuza's run, so you can
I don't want anybody
the best of both worlds.
No more tutorials for me. I don't want anyone beating this. Like, I'm thinking about making like a world record progression video, but then I'm like, well, I don't want to explain everything. I don't want it to gain popularity and suddenly a lot more people are running it. No, I'm happy where it is. I think at some point it would be fun to see mine get beaten. I mean, you've seen mine is not perfect.
Yeah, true. But I think also like you doing tutorials and teaching people about the run, what you did was like you enabled like multiple people to have fun with the run, right?
Right.
So for me, I learned it like from you. I know that Blink like watched a lot from you, and like if you only take those two people, you enabled like two people to have fun, right, and compete, and it's so much more like honest and nice in a way than like keeping all the secrets and doing your run just for the satisfaction to get a good time.
Agreed. Did you see both of us had Yorda chase the exact same bird? So I didn't do the Pete door drop here where you thwop down and she runs to you, because if she's too far away, she won't be concerned. So we both had to chase Yorda there. So even a place where I'm like, maybe I'll get better Yorda RNG than he does, he still gave it to me.
Yeah.
But this is another place where for some reason his Yorda is going to run to this cube faster than mine, like 2 seconds faster, and I just don't understand. I don't understand. But I am going back to what you said, Mars. It was a huge benefit to me to do that because you, Blink, Pete Door, Brand New, Tic Tac, Lucas Benito, JK, the Snake, all of you guys found things that I could do to improve my run, and you weren't even trying to. Like, you were just running the game, looking at it through your own eyes, and you'd be like, hey, you can use the D-pad here, or hey, look at this little improvement. I think Pete Door found like 3 or 4. And you with the bunny hops, you'll see me use them several different times throughout the run. It's just nice to have that. But it made the run more secure in a lot of places, and so I benefited more than you guys did from giving you the tutorials.
Yeah.
It was all part of my master plan.
That's the nice thing about
Wait, what did I improve? Tic Tac, I didn't use it, but you improved. You were the one who started looking at the faster way to drop down from the dark room during the graveyard skip. I don't do it, Tic Tac, but you still found it. You and Brand New found it.
Yeah, back to the run. Yoda does shake her head for Karekuza
Yes.
on this
Ha
jump.
ha ha. Take that,
Finally.
Kari. Finally, he gets some Yorda time tax, is what I like to call it. After all these years. Yeah, my Yorda behaves pretty well from here on out. Um, but you're gonna see he has her AI figured out a little bit better. You're going to see after he opens the drawbridge here,
Hmm.
his Yorda gets to him a little bit faster than mine will. Like he does his call early, and I haven't figured out how to do that without her getting like stuck behind the pillars.
I wonder, do you like can you assume who did more runs of the game, Karekuza or yourself?
Um, I
Because I
have
know
no
he did run it
idea.
for like a couple of months only, right?
Well, but he was one of those guys who was streaming for like 8 hours or something, I believe.
Uh,
And and me, I don't, when I was practicing the game, you know, married, child, job. I'm like playing for 2 or 3 hours late at night, like 4 or 5 nights a week, and that's it. So
yeah.
usually I have a chance to try one good run, and if it fails, I'm like, well, all right, let's just finish the run for practice, or let's do some segmented practice. He has a super fast Yorda there, because he calls earlier than I do, and I haven't worked out how to do it, so I just don't do it. Pure Yorda AI time loss for the top 5 rounds. Oh, go ahead, Tic Tac. You do that. More power to
Yeah.
you.
It would be so much work, but it would be very interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. You do see his motions start. He like makes a couple mistakes. Like I made a smoother jump right there off the ladder. Like he tummy oofed that jump, and
Mm.
I made the jump where I landed on my feet. So I think I can't be sure because I wasn't there, but I do think with some of the little parkour movements now, you do see like you do see his nerves get to him a little bit.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
there's going to be a segment where you're going to see both of us like make uncommon mistakes, and you can tell it's because we're both feeling the pressure, and it's going to happen on their screen at almost the same time.
When on this one, when did you start like feeling the pressure?
I always feel the pressure once the ladder skip or the shadow skip at East Idle Stairs works.
Hmm.
But I really start feeling the pressure if I get the ladder drop, exiting East Arena, because
Yeah.
that's when I know, okay, I just saved time on Kari. I know I'm behind, but I just saved some time.
Okay,
And
that's
if the
interesting.
shadows behave perfectly with it, so that whole East Arena to entering the water puzzle section, the waterfall section, that if that section goes well, that's when I really start to feel the pressure.
Mm. So you both
Which
get
is
one shadow to fight here?
yeah, but it took Karekuza so
Yeah.
long to regrip. And the interesting thing is, he doesn't even need to be fully all the way out. Like the grip he had was actually going just as fast as the one he regripped. Yeah, Kare was trying to tic tac. What Kare was trying to do there is he was trying to grab the bar without accidentally pushing it, and so he was like restepping, trying to grab, restepping, trying to grab. I'm not as worried about that mistake. I'd rather just make sure I grab it well. And so yeah. So anyways, so yeah, Kare just had and that's why I'm talking about his nerves. Like I think you could see it,
Mm.
or he's perfectly calm and he's this happy, daring self, and he was
We
just
don't know.
distracted by chat. Who knows? Who really knows? I was so scared Yorda was going to shake her head there because the thing made me call her instead of reach out your hand. That's Kare throwing future runners a bone out of kindness. Yeah, he's just like took a breather. We both took a while to do this jump setup.
uh,
I do drop one scoot earlier from this pipe. It makes Eco do this like little stumble animation, which is kind of fun because it looks super daring, but it's 100% consistent. Not many people know this, but that was Kari's first playthrough of the game. uh, that's funny. So, it's actually hard to jump to this ledge, which I'm about to do, and make sure you tummy oof instead of grabbing.
mm.
But you had it worked out to do bunny hops, and so that's what I do here. I only do 2 instead of 3. I think like 2 is enough.
Yeah, it's smarter.
But
Let's be honest,
it's
it's
still
smart.
your
Yeah.
because you have more time to aim more carefully. You know, you're not
Yeah.
on that trajectory. But it was still your idea. So also, I started doing a down D-pad jump there to light the bomb.
The bomb rolling to the right there.
Yeah, it almost slipped out the back, but I threw it from far enough away. We both missed the beam jump here.
Yeah, which is the way it usually goes.
Yeah, and Kare doesn't jump over. He crawls up on that railing right there. So that was another like tiny optimization we found. So you know, I was 42 seconds back leaving East Arena, and now I'm closer to around like 30 seconds, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, I still, and when I'm watching like run comparisons, I think it's so amazing that like the run is like 1.5 an hour long, and like
Yeah.
just imagine there are two people playing the game, and they're like so close to each other over the time of 1.5 hour. It's actually crazy.
Well, yeah,
Like how
because if you look at
optimized is
my
this?
yeah, my other four fastest runs are 34 seconds, 33 seconds, 24 seconds, and 6 seconds away from his run.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is crazy to see like to think that the game is that optimized, and to think that the RNG usually balances out. That Yorda's AI isn't going to on most runs troll you every single moment. Okay, so
Except for
now
yours.
now 2 days before I had a run that was 20 seconds ahead of where my run is right now, and I
Oh.
missed the jump back to the chain, which is something that's never happened. But the camera has mercy on me today. Like I was dreading this moment and I wasn't saying anything. And then the camera was just like, "I got you, bro. You don't even have to make the jump while the camera's
Oh
slowing."
yeah,
I
that's
was
I know.
so fortunate cuz I would have probably still made it, but it would have cost me a couple years of my life, I think. Also, I get my order a little bit faster here. So,
Hmm.
if you're wondering at how far behind we are, since it's hard to like count the seconds, I did make a little chart. So, when I hit this main gate, I am now only 28 seconds behind him, whereas we were 42 seconds behind at the top of East Arena.
Yeah, that's a lot of catch up. Like a lot
Yeah,
of
so
time.
most of it was the ladder drop, but then him, not grabbing that beam, going around the elevator was very helpful. Unfortunately, I didn't get to save time at the water mill because my Yorda behaved the same as his. Usually, I can count on gaining some time there, but not this time. And now we're both in the same load again. Hmm. This is the time where you read donations. Oh, what did Blink say here?
Oh yeah.
In Mars's video for that beam jump, you say, you can sometimes get two, but you'll always be able to get one. I'm like, no, I cannot always get one beam.
I'm pretty convinced like with the setup I got, I can get
Yeah,
like 90% of the jumps I can get at least one beam, I would say. So
but you
it
just,
kind of has its truth, but
but it's a specific joystick angle you're using, right? You're not using the D-pad for that jump.
yes, right.
Yeah, I don't
And
think there would be a D-pad for it.
yeah, I think I have like an advantage because I did test it on the emulator, and on the
Hmm.
emulator you can have like a save state and try the jump over and over again and grind it out.
Right, right.
Where if you have to practice it on PS3, it's like it takes so much time that it's so daring. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can jump back to that broken ladder and climb up and try it again. But the camera gives you a different angle from the bomb toss if you skip the cutscene and you're
Mm.
standing, or if you're not. It's really weird. Like that camera angle does. You're right. Emulator is needed. I just talked myself out of my point. Never mind. I'm not even gonna explain why I was wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You need the emulator to set up that specific jump at that camera angle.
So, oh, you did jump over the second fence. I always
Yeah,
have
I missed
trouble
the
jumping
first
over
one.
the
It's
fence.
super
Yeah.
hard. That first fence is really hard to get for some reason for me. It's just something about the approach. I know if you like stop and do it as a standing jump, you can get it every time, but you know, if you stop and you miss it then you've just wasted time. At one point I had tried to work out like the specific setup for it, but then I decided it wasn't worth putting too much time into. Here's us lighting opposite ends at the exact same moment.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that's funny.
There's some fun visuals. Hey, I got a good turn that time.
Hmm.
But you're right. I think my Yorda, I should be a little bit further left. The reason I do it there is because I've noticed, you know how sometimes Yorda gets caught and she
Yeah,
can't find your hand because you're in between invisible tiles?
I can absolutely relate. Yeah.
I find that that's less. I love my approach here. I had a really good angle to those torches. Anyways, I find that reaching, having her run to the back, she's less likely to do that. So again, sometimes I'm taking like the calculated, slower but consistent way as opposed to a riskier way that could cost you like lots of time.
Yeah. Th- I think we said it 1,000 times by now, but ICO has like this moments where you can do something risky and save like 1 or 2 seconds, but
Hmm.
potentially lose like 10, 5, 8 seconds.
Yeah, or the
uh,
whole run.
or the whole run. And sometimes it's just not worth it to do them. Yeah.
Like the pipe jump at the in the opening segment before you get to the crane. Like you
Hmm.
can go
Yeah.
for it and then just miss it and die.
Yeah, I think Blink called it the brave jump and or
The
brave
brave
jumps,
jump.
and it makes sense. Yeah, you have to be really
Yeah.
brave to try out the a far jump.
Yeah, well, what I did for that jump was I just saved at the bench. I took Yorda all the way to that bench, the second trolley bench, and I saved there so I could just practice it over and over again. All right, so we're getting close to where I've worked out, and I want to try and make sure to shout out everybody I can here. So, um, Mugget's run from 2007, Mugit, or however you say his name. He does this different from Karekuza, and it saves no time, but it's cool. He keeps the sword after pulling the lever at the water slide. He keeps the sword, jumps down to the bridge immediately, does a bomb throw, and gets Yorda. But because of that, he has to go get a stick in the West Arena, and then run all the way to the other windows to light a torch, to be able to then light the torches on that side. So it doesn't actually save time over Karekuza's run. But he did show us that you can jump down instead of running around all the bridges that Kare just got open. So Mugget's way is keep the sword and do the bomb toss. Um, John Beavers worked out that you could just like when you exit. So here Kare is about to exit. When you exit, you can just step up over the bridge right here, over that railing, and fall down, and then run up and get the stick where he's getting the stick. And it's 6 seconds faster. Like, Car is going around, and John Beavers, a guy who's like in like 18th or 17th place, but when he did his run 2 years ago, he worked that out, how to get the stick faster than Karekuza. But if you get the stick and you still do a bomb throw, as opposed to what Karekuza's doing, and you don't wait for Yorda, like myself, I didn't wait for Yorda, it adds up to about 20 seconds faster overall, doing all of these combined things together.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if that was confusing, but
No, you explained
Kare
it pretty
also
well.
Kare also puts the bomb too far away. He could have put it like a couple steps earlier, and look how
Yeah,
long
true.
it takes him to light it. And then shout out to Pitor and JK, who
Yes.
worked out. So
Yeah.
who worked out the easiest way to do a bomb toss so that you're not throwing away the whole run here. So throw it, let's try and sneak in a jump. Boop.
Yeah, this is one of the things I wish I learned earlier, or I had from
Yeah.
the beginning, because it's like it literally no risk and it's so fast.
Yep. And then my Yorda is faster than his, and I didn't wait and call her. Like, so Karekuza waited for like 4 seconds when he first pulled that lever to get Yorda up faster, and then she was still at the bottom. So I was like, well, forget that. If she's gonna be at the bottom, why waste any time calling her? Just run back out through that door. And then mine actually happened to be faster, even though I didn't wait for her. And now look how close we are.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Look how close we are to Karekuza because of Mugget and John Beavers and me figuring out to do both of those strategies at the same time, and Pitor and JK figuring out the safe way to do the bomb toss. And now you're going to see something happen to both of us, which gives everyone a heart attack.
Oof.
So we exited the water tower, which I like to call Ewok Village, 28 seconds away, and we are now only 8 seconds behind Karekuza.
That's really cool, yeah.
Yep. So, like you said, not much has changed over 5.5 years, but that one thing, like studying those different runs and piecing together all those different parts, and again, it was, you know, the whole community. We worked out one little thing. Now, it saved 20 seconds, and I did beat the world record by 30 seconds. So we didn't need it, but I'm really glad we had it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we had it. And here's Kare again doing a quick.
I wonder how he does it
turn.
so well. Like, he doesn't seem like he sets it up.
Yeah, I learned not to, you don't have to set it up in this side because the camera angle gives you a much easier shot of the ladder. But you do have to do it. But East Arena, it's so hard to do it.
Yeah, but even in East Arena, his angle looked pretty good. It wasn't off by that much.
Yeah. So you know, going back to Tic Tac's question, Karekuza's run is a 1:28:36. If you count, if he did my strat here, that would be 20 seconds, and if he didn't miss the Yorta drop in East Arena, that would be 20 seconds. So that's already a sub 1:28 right there.
Why does he do that? Why does he let go of Yorta?
Because sometimes she'll like actually make it all the way to the front. I think he actually thinks this is faster, but you know, I'd rather have Yorta right by the ladder. He loses. So, you know, I have the benefit of looking at his run and deciding whether or not I want to do something his way or a different way. So for him, no, this is his strategy though. Like, watch when he steps out, he calls her to see where she is, and then he does one drop, and then he jumps off to get to her.
Oh, wow. Yeah, never seen that.
And she, you know, that activates her concern mode. But look how far away she is. So he gained like a couple seconds by letting go of her early and running without her, but then all this time right here loses a total of like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
So look where we are now.
So close now, yeah.
Because he did that. I mean, it's super cute, you know, what he did. It's fun. It's more interesting to look at than me holding her hand the whole time. But suddenly I'm even like closer.
But back to what you were saying, imagine like which resources did Karekuza had for his run?
Right, so Karekuza had Mugget's run and the 2011 run, which is a 1:28, which is a 1:29:06 IGT. But that run also has a lot of really useful and helpful commentary on it. And Mars, I'm serious. That 1:29:06 wasn't doing some of the faster strategies Karekuza does. It is a better run than Kare's in a lot of ways. Like, the guy's motion is amazing. The guy who was running a PS2 JP version of the game. Maybe Kare was just feeling the jitters, so it's unfair to compare them, but that, you need to go, if you haven't watched that run before, I think out of all of us, that guy is clearly the most talented when it comes to like consistently doing all the tricks. We need to talk about adding it to the leaderboard for history's sake again. Yeah, Tic Tac, I mean, the problem is it's segmented like Muggets is, but I do mention it in my credits. It is tough whenever you have a run and you don't have the runners, like you can't get in touch with them or anything, and but you're right, it should be on the leaderboard. It's sort of like, for a long time, in my mind, it was always unofficial second place. And now we walk.
It's so close right now. It's crazy.
It really is. I really wanted to make sure she didn't stumble. I probably did this like a couple seconds slower than him, the bridge part.
Yeah. Also, I really enjoy the section coming up, where it's like only eco movement without Yorta.
No more RNG. Yeah, and we're gonna get to see a couple places where I've, gained time in the next segment. See, he got a super quick jump. My jump takes longer, even though I'm mashing triangle. I don't know what it is that he does when he goes climbing up that gets him to like cancel out of the rest of that animation. Look at us both hanging there. Stick! No, we had to watch two sticks at once. This is too much. I can't bear it. Oh, stick.
But yeah, I think if you're not like an expert on running eco and you would watch those two runs, you would not think that there are like 5 years between them.
Right.
You would think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like basically the same, right? It's not much
Right.
different.
It's just a collection of many, many sticks if you think about it. Okay, now, um, all right. I think I always complain about this section because there's one jail where it's really hard to grab the top lip. Sometimes you grab the bottom lip.
Mm.
And there's another hanging jail where it's really hard to land on your feet instead of grabbing the top lip.
Do you know
And
if
this
the
was one of the
swinging
few
is
times
Anji?
recently where I got both. So I was really happy with that. But then I took a super safe angle here because I didn't trust myself to do my usual angle.
Do you know if the swing is RNG on the cages? Or
Yeah,
is it
yeah, the way they
like,
swing and yeah. Now this is unfortunate and I wish this didn't happen, but Kare has a really slow load here. And so imagine he's still like about 6 seconds ahead.
yeah, for the comparison, it would be nice,
Yeah,
but
it's unfortunate. Kare's RTA, part of it is he paused a couple times when he didn't when he was trying to quit a cutscene. But his RTA is like 11 seconds slower. He loses 11 seconds to loads over me
mm,
over the course of the whole thing. Fortunately, we use IGT and not RTA, but
yeah.
it does kind of make me a little sad because what you're seeing is not exactly accurate. Then again, it's kind of, there's some balance because he had some really fast loads early on.
Yeah, it's basically probably the most accurate
Yeah. Now it's really
way to
subtle, but
compare runs.
I jumped I pulled the cube to a different spot and jumped from a different spot to the ladder, and now I'm actually ahead of him. But I give it back because I have a more safe jump to the chain.
I'm
So it
really,
balances out.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to the shadow fight at the end.
Oh, thanks.
Don't spoil me.
Okay, okay. The run it's a big joke. The run dies at the shadow
Yeah,
fight.
right.
I looked away to try and stop the slow frames there. I think it works. I don't think it actually makes a difference, but it's just something to do while you're climbing up the chain. Whee! I mean, to me, even if this wasn't world record, it's just nice to have scraped and clawed and caught up after
Mhm.
being 40 seconds behind at East Arena.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, I'll still say, like, as far as just pure eco control, Karekuza is. I've 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 cut a lot of corners and found ways to like make things. I had a stumble there. That was weird. Found ways to make things safer. Kare is the more daring and the more skilled runner of the two of us. Watch his jumps here. Watch what he does. I just like he jumped across the pipe from one end to the other end
Yeah.
of the pipe. Like that's so golly. Um Now you can do two swings here and then climb up in one swing, but this time I definitely chose to do three swings and one swing,
Yeah.
but you're going to notice he climbs up and I don't. So we save a little bit of time here. You don't need to climb the chain to make that jump. I don't think he knew that. And again, JK was helped me to like approach those chains differently and look at them more carefully. Neck and neck.
I'm just taking it in right now. It's very awesome to watch.
And he does a more daring jump here. I wait for the camera to line up to do a deep head jump, and he just, whoop, So skilled.
The jump you did, the last jump, you do a D-pad jump on the
Yeah, to
rotating
jump
thing?
from the
Okay.
second cog to the
Wow.
spinning cylinder. I wait for the camera to like line up, and I jump as it's lining up. I just stand still. All right, so here's where you're gonna see. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna. I'll just let you take it in.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I handled it well. So I usually watch my feet there, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's a hard jump to do under. That double jump is hard
Yeah.
to do under pressure. Okay, now watch Karekuza here. I'm gonna catch up to him because I have no idea what he's doing. Whee! We're ahead again. uh, so yeah, we both got hit by the nerves in that little segment.
Yeah, and he
Aiden,
continues to jump, yeah.
and here you can see that his bunny hops are not actually faster. So the problem with the bunny hops is if you miss the timing of it, you can you'll lose one and then you've gone behind.
So how nervous are you at this point, running and seeing the
Um,
time?
Not super nervous because I still know the shadow fight can do anything,
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah,
so
true. Yeah,
but I'm also willing to I'm also willing to lose a couple seconds to every jump that could kill me.
yeah.
Which I don't feel like I'm home free. So yeah, I think I was pretty nervous, but I don't think I was more nervous than during a regular I'm ahead of PB pace run.
Yeah. But I can totally relate. But every time I was like ahead of my PB at this point, the only thing I could think about is, well, the shadow fight can go completely wrong,
Yes.
and so don't
Yes.
be nervous. It's actually funny
Yeah.
because after the shadow fight, you're basically free. It's
Mhm.
basically done, and before the shadow fight, you always have to say, yeah, it can go wrong, anyways. No.
Yes. Exactly. But even then you have to worry about will your nerves mess you up. So I still wasn't relaxed after the shadow fight. Like the queen fight, I was super focused
Mm,
not to not make any
yeah, true.
errors. Um yep. Here we are dropping to the bottom. So this is about the same. I can do this a little faster, but as I said, I was being a little bit cautious. Like I made sure I was above the doors.
Imagine dying there. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. I do jumps now over the boat. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
need to, but it's fun. It's not faster. It might be a tad slower actually,
Yeah.
but I just felt like it. Just a little flare. And of course, this doesn't impact the IGT really, but I get the scene skip and he doesn't. The more impressive thing is that you can say I was ahead of Karekuza even before Shadow Fight. This makes this run even more impressive. I appreciate that, Tic Tac, but let's remember that he has like 10 seconds extra RTA over me. So I think I'm actually, what did I work it out to? I'm actually 6 seconds behind him right here. But because of that slow load, uh, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm tempted to pause mine for 6 seconds just to make it look. Are you okay with that if I do that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to pause mine for 6 seconds to make it feel more accurate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's where I really am in comparison to him.
You're slightly behind.
Yeah. And I like running up this side as opposed to the other side. It's harder to see your steps on the stairs, but it's a lot easier to do a straight line run right here.
Oof. So basically, at this point, if it was a race, it would be like totally open. Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen. And it's just going to come down to I decide to just go ahead and go to the stairs, and I get lucky. I get a couple shadows along the way.
Oh yeah, by dropping one. Yeah,
I
that's
think we
nice.
ended up killing about the same amount of shadows, but he did some chasing. But you're just gonna see like the difference here is just activity.
Yeah.
I'll just let you comment from here.
See, now you put me on the spot. Yeah. So That's I experimented with the shadow fight a lot myself. And the thing, if you're like standing still, like Karekuza does here, it's sometimes the shadows are really taking their time to drop down and they get stuck. And if you know a little bit about the shadows and how they behave, they're actually gonna like close the distance to you if you show them your back. So I figured, like, when I was testing, like moving and like baiting the shadows actively
Exactly.
is like a little bit faster probably than just standing still. And yeah, I think
particularly the shadows who
it
approach
shows.
from the right.
Right, yeah.
Because the ones from the top, they'll just drop down. So there's not too much. But yeah, the ones that come up from the right, you'll see me doing, like, you kind of just run in circles, but I do a very specific, like, looping motion. So it's hard to count, like, how many shadows, but I'm getting a lot of double hits. Like, this was a very, very good fight, and there was a lot of good luck to it. I think I only had one shadow that, like, swooped away and lost time. Like you know how they can, like, swoop and, like, go into the air and just fly around for like a minute.
The shadow fight really is like the last point of the run where you're kind of dependent on a little bit luck.
Yeah, oh yeah, Tic Tac says practice. Tic Tac was here one night on my stream when all I was doing was doing the shadow fight over and over again. I'd do the shadow fight and then I'd run up to where the lever is and jump off and kill myself and do it again.
If you think about it, the shadow fight is like the perfect description for the whole run. It's like a mixture of like getting good luck and having the skill to deal with it.
Yeah, and the glitchiness of a shadow can get just stuck and be running into a wall and not moving, and you have to chase it down. So there we go. That's my fight.
Yeah, Tic Tac, it's definitely more knowledge rather than luck, but it is also
experience.
luck dependent.
It becomes reflexes when you're looking at 3 different shadows and thinking, what's the best position for me to be in? Which ones should I coax towards me, and which one do I know is going to come on its own? And which one, if I scare it away, is going to... Yeah, which one, if I scare it away, is going to eat me, is going to eat up more time, and which one, if I scare it away, is going to eat up less time. There's really a lot going. It'd be really hard to break it down in a video, even.
It's so crazy. Look.
So yeah, I was 6 seconds behind him. I know the timer's off, but we're doing that for the RTA, sake of RTA IGT balance.
But at the end, it really came down to the shadow fight. It was like
really did.
Showdown.
Yeah, the shadow fight and counterbalancing his better RNG with a ladder drop at East Arena and a better West Arena strat. Like, besides that, our runs are very, very close, and he just has better RNG, and I have a bad opening.
But I think that proves just like how much we managed to improve the run overall. That you can, even with worse RNG, you can still get ahead with the improvements, right?
Right. Yeah. Worse RNG, and I said it from the beginning that if we're gonna beat Karekuza, the way to do it isn't to grind out at Graveyard and trying to get the great Graveyard he had, because we'll lose a lot of runs there. But it's to concede that you're gonna lose that time at Graveyard, but that you can gain it back during the shadow fight.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened. Now, fun fact, if you were to start this fight for both of us at the exact same moment, my shadow fight does go a half second faster. Or I mean, my queen fight goes a half second faster than his.
Do you know how many slices do you get compared to Karekuza?
I only get 3. I think he gets more, but he also, like, missed a swing at her somewhere. I think it's here, watch. See, he got the slice, but then he missed hitting her.
I see.
That last bubble cut he didn't get. That's the hardest one. It's so hard to see.
Yeah.
The way to do that fight, I'm convinced, is to get to where your motion is so precise that you know where your feet need to be when you swing to get the bubble cut. And to just try and be as consistent as possible. Look at him, though. Like,
he does a good job.
Yeah, he's still getting cuts right here.
Oh, that one was really nice. The last one.
Yeah. So his shadow fight took like exactly 2 minutes, and mine took 1:59:50.
So how do you feel at this point
Um,
while running?
well, I mean, we've been pointing out like there was so the Yorda time text. I don't know, like I don't want to do a run just to have Yorda running to me a few seconds faster in 7 different places, like she did for Karekuza, you know.
Yeah.
But the opening, the fact that I've had a run where I was exiting East Arena 20 seconds behind Karekuza, and then I have a run where I was 8 seconds ahead of him leaving West Arena,
Mm.
as opposed to being 8 seconds behind him. So I have these two other runs that were doing better, but I don't know how motivated I am now to go sub 128. But if I did end up doing it, it would be because the opening segments bother me so much that I want to have a world record that doesn't look like I'm a loser at the beginning, so people stop watching. Because like I tummy oofed that very first jump, like getting onto the chain on the second room of the game. So there you go. Oh, but I don't have the webcam on, but there is something I didn't get to do because the world record run was off stream. Do you know what that is? Panda Head of Victory!
Yeah, right.
Yay, I'm wearing it.
Oh, you're wearing it right now.
You can't.
We will just imagine.
I'm wearing the Panda Head of Victory.
We can kind of hear it. You're kind of muffled.
Yeah. The overlay is too pretty for me to put my webcam on top of it, but we did it.
Yeah, great stuff. I don't know what to say. I probably can say congratulations again.
Thank you
for doing it, and I think what we can't forget is that how much time and effort and love it take at the end to beat like Karekuza's run, and how much like passion to start over and over again. I think we at some point we knew that technically. I remember when we said, okay, at this point we knew we can technically beat Karekuza, and it really comes down to doing runs and getting it done. But it even from there it took like a good amount of work for you to get it, and it's even nicer than that at the end you get it, and it's so much deserved.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to the passion of the community, and just how welcoming the community was at the beginning when I first showed up and nobody was running it. And I remember, who was the first person? I think I had a run that was 4 minutes faster than second place at the time, which was Shizuku's run, which meant it was 8 minutes away from Karekuza. And I was watching like FoxyZilla streaming, and he was running he was running Shadow of the Colossus. I almost said StarCraft 2. It's a Freudian slip there. I love that game. Anyways, he's on stream and he was just like, you know what, Sancho, I bet you'll get the world record one day. I know you will. And at that time I was like, if I can get to where I'm 4 minutes away, I'm happy. Like, because the difference between first and second place on that leaderboard was 12 minutes. But people just started saying it, and I think after enough time, you guys just kind of brainwashed me into thinking I had to do it.
Yes.
Because it was never a goal of mine when I started running. The goal was like, hey, can you get under 2 hours without a death? My long-term goal early on was, hey, maybe I could get second place from Shizuku. And then my long-term goal was like 4 minutes away, and I'm happy. But you guys kept pushing me, and you kept finding cool stuff. And let's be honest, like, there was a time where I was comfortably in second place, and I wasn't feeling any pressure. And then Brand New showed up, and he was picking up the game way faster. Like, he was just he was just very intuitive with the motion of ICO movement. Like, he was just doing it so smoothly, like, from the beginning. Yes. And I was like, oh, darn it, if I want to keep second place, I need to keep improving. And there's even a PB of mine somewhere in the obsolete runs on the leaderboards where I finished a run and I said, Brand New might get second place someday, but it's not today. But I was like Aragorn, but it is not this day.
Yeah.
This day we fight. And then after him it was Pete Dor, and Pete Dor actually took second place from me for a week. I don't know if everybody remembers that. And then you and Blink showed up, so I had to get it run back from Pete Dor, and then you and Blink showed up, and you were beating Pete Dor as well, and so I was like, well, okay, maybe I need to keep pushing. And especially you, I think at one point I had a run that was like a one. What was it? It was like a 130 something or a mid 129 or a high 129. And then you got that. Yeah, it was the high. It was the mid one. It was like a 129 30 26 or something like that. And then you got the 130.05, and you posted it, and you were like, and Sancho, I can beat your run. I know where the places are in my run that I lost time, and I'm gonna beat you. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll grind. I'll start grinding again. And we had that. You and I had that race, right? Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Where I couldn't get a skip to save my life,
yeah.
And you beat me by like 4 minutes, and you got a PB in that run. And then I did another run immediately afterwards without a timer and got like a 131.04, which at the time would have been enough for second place. And I was like, well, if I'm rusty and I can turn around and crank this out, like, you really helped me with those final couple laps. So shout out to you, Mars.
Yeah. Well, it's I learned everything I knew basically from you, so.
So I just gotta stop teaching people now. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But there's more to do. There's more to do in this game. You know, Gooperman currently has the PS2 US world record. He crushed it. And so there's a little bit of a drive. Maybe not to beat him, but I would like to get sub 2 hours in that. It's been so long since I ran the platinum run, and I know I can easily beat that now, because of just how much faster my average times are. Like, my average time is around a 130. So I can crush that platinum run. And at some point I would like to co-op with somebody.
Yeah, sadly you have to be like physically in person and meet up. It's like kind of...
I don't think it could be. It'd take a lot of practice to beat Vexel and Gore, though. They're so great. And Gore's another person who showed up right at the end. And there's like 2 or 3 things I did in this run because of his run. And he's, they've only been in the community like posting runs for like a month and a half maybe. But Gorster, he would be a beast if he picked up the solo run. But he's too spoiled by co-op Yorda.
Yeah, it would be hard for him to see Yorda not behaving that way.
Yeah. Like, who are you and what have you done with my best friend? So putting you on the spot, you say you haven't felt as much of an urge. Does watching this make you want to get back into it, or are you
Absolutely not. I'm going to be very honest. Watching this taught me again, what I already knew, of course, is that it takes, with this run, to get like the top time, and we're talking about like top 3 places times, you really have to be on top of your game. You have to do everything. You don't have to do everything perfect, but you have to have a pretty good, almost close to perfect playthrough. You have to have the good RNG, and it's like, it's so much time. It takes so much time, I feel like, to grind it out. And for me, it's like, I don't feel right now to do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason why I after a certain PB, I'd take a month or 2 months off, or I think I even took a break. Before we did our race, I think I hadn't played ICO in almost 4 months. And it's because, it's when you think about all of the different RNG moments, and you, like, when that's what's in your mind, it really does kind of just oppress you.
Yeah.
To think, well, if I want to get a run, I've got to get the graveyard skip. I've got to have Dark Room not do anything weird. I've got to get the sewer skip. I've got to have good Squish Bros. I've got to have a good fight with the 3 shadows in the cube of the Stone Pillar. I've got to get the East Idle Stair skip. I've got to have I've got to get the sword skip to work well. Exiting East Arena. And lately for me, even just trying to get the idle doors at the bottom of the of the waterfall, I had failed that like half the time. Yorda would get scared or she would get grabbed. I'm just
Mm.
like, what is happening with the game right now?
Yeah, but I also think we both have like a little bit different approach to how we play the game,
Yeah,
because like if you just fail a skip sometimes, or you're just gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna finish the run just for the finish sake, and I'm gonna have fun with it. But if I'm like failing something and I know I probably can't catch up, I can't finish the run because I'm gonna be so depressed over the run that I can't get a good time, and it's not fun then for me.
yeah. Well, I mean, if I were on my own, it would be very different. But my Twitch stream, the people who follow me on there make it super fun, and they're real fun to interact with. And we've got our fun eco emotes, and that makes a lot of difference. Um, Karekuza's beach run is exactly the same time as mine, for
Yeah,
what that's worth.
yeah, that's nice. GG. Great stuff.
GG. Oh, I was gonna spam the eco emotes in chat. Here we are.
We can see you scrolling through the
Oh,
text.
nice. Okay, well here they are. I can't get it. I can't find it. It's scrolling too fast. Oh no.
Yeah.
There we go. Uh, that that Mr. Clippy.
Yeah, he has to be here for the end. Yeah,
I'm
man.
really glad you let me pause it there so we could see like the actual difference. It
Yeah,
really
I think
bothered
it
me that his
was
loads were slow.
more fun to watch it this way. You were right.
So
Oh, you
if
didn't
someone
save over number one? Or
no, I couldn't decide. Like these are the runs were so important to me. It was hard for me to
okay, I
decide which
see.
one to save over.
Phew, what a journey indeed.
Yeah, and what if, right? Like how easily it could have been sub 128 if Yorda hadn't trolled me as many times as she did, or. But then again, we still got so lucky
Yeah.
that it's hard to complain. We got so lucky. Now his RTA is off because he didn't push stop until the it said end. But on speedrun.com, oops. Oh well. Now you can see the rest of the Twitch channel. All right, we'll just start his over. Yay. Okay. Anyways, wait. Did I let it play to? Okay, there we are.
Yeah, it did play to the end, yeah.
All right, there it is.
Phew, 30 seconds.
Yeah. So, oh, thanks, Aiden. Thanks, guys. Um, so yeah, I think this was a long time in the making. As I
Mm.
mentioned, people along the way, a whole lot of people contributed to this and made it super fun. And Mars, it's just a joy to get to like that you get to watch it for the first time now,
Yeah,
and
it was
we got
really
to have
fun.
this time together to enjoy it. It means a lot to me. You're awesome.
Thanks. I can only give back the compliment.
Well, that's why I gave it so you would give
Yeah.
it back. Yeah.
No, I know you did. So
Yeah, you're rubber. I'm glue. Any compliment I give bounces off of you and sticks onto me.
in
I
in my
think
in my
that's.
words, thanks, Dad.
All right, so we're gonna end the stream now. But thank you everybody for watching. Thanks Team
Yeah.
Eco community for being awesome and cheering me all this time. And it really like it's so much better than if I just did this in a closet somewhere, having everyone cheering for me and knowing that you guys would be just as happy and in some ways, if not more so, and making a bigger deal of it than I ever would have. I think Tic Tac says this may be the run of the year, and I don't know if I agree with that, but it still feels really nice that he said it. You know.
Well, it kind of has to, right? Because I mean,
Anyways, well, I think he was speaking of Team Eco in general, but now I've got to go after Sean, right? I've got to beat
yeah,
Shadow
but
of the
I
Colossus.
think you're being very nice, but it really is a big deal if you think about it, right?
Well, I'll let you think about it. I'll do my best not to get a big head. How about that? I'm already
Just be
failing.
happy.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying all the attention. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, but maybe this will be some closure for me, and we can move on to other things.
Yeah.
So,
No.
anyways, thanks everybody for watching. I'll still be running eco. I'll casually try and go sub 128, but I'm not gonna grind it. I'll do like one run a week to answer your
I
question
bet
of what now.
I bet at some point you're just gonna get a better time just by doing a chill run. It's
Probably. I mean, that's a couple of my PBs came without the clock running and just doing
yeah.
it to see what would happen. And I had that 129.36 where it had a failed sewer skip and we were just like, "What?" So, that's how it goes. All right, I'm just talking now cuz I enjoy talking and we're still kind of half quarantined and so it's just nice to be around people. So, we should probably end the stream or we'll talk for another hour.
We can do a podcast right now if you want. Welcome to the Eco
Welcome to the
Podcast.
Team Ueda podcast. That would be you've given me an idea.
Yeah, we
All
should
right,
do
we'll
it.
talk later.
Yeah. Okay, see you guys.
Bye everyone. You can say bye.
Bye. Sorry.
Bye. That was awkward.
Yeah.